Hi guys, it's Spencer. Welcome to Sphinx Reads. Today I'll be reviewing The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson. Before I get too emotional, um, The Hero of Ages is the third book in the Mistborn trilogy, and it was written by Brandon Sanderson. What else do you need to know? It's adult high fantasy. If you have not read the previous two books, The Final Empire and The Wall of Ascension, I have reviews for both of those, which will be linked down below. I'm actually reading Brandon Sanderson's books as part of the Cosmere Crab-Along that Books Before Death is hosting this year. Okay, so it's gonna be super hard to kind of explain what this book is about. So for The Final Empire, the main plot of the story was defeat the Lord Ruler, right? And then for Well of Ascension, it was like, let's figure out the siege and find the Well of Ascension, basically. The Hero of Ages, I think the main goal of the story is to defeat Ruin. Like, Ruin, who was released in the Well of Ascension, is kind of the main villain of the story. There's just so much that goes on in The Hero of Ages that I don't think that just saying that would suffice describing all the events that took place in this book. The other reason that I think this is going to be kind of a difficult review is I thought this book was perfect. I had no complaints about it whatsoever. One thing that I really liked about this book is, compared to The Well of Ascension, which I said, in my opinion, had like more mysterious slow burn vibe to it, The Hero of Ages is jam-packed with action. I think almost every other chapter had some kind of action scene going on, and I love that about it. It really felt like Infinity War, if you've seen the Marvel movie. There's just a lot of things going on. I love that we follow our main POVs for this story. We have Vin, we have Elend, we have Sazed, we have Spook. There were other POVs that I think were inserted here and there, but those were the main four POVs that we follow. Oh, and also Tensoon. I thought the character work for each of those main POVs was so good and so well done. It was just perfect. Like, it was so fun to see how much these characters develop, how much Vin grows as a person, Ellen as a ruler, Sazed, like his struggle with his faith, Spook's struggle with kind of his self-esteem, and then there's Tensoon, who has to deal with a lot of the politics of this world. It was just so cool. Like, everything was just perfect about this book. It's so hard to talk about it negatively. The world building, I guess it really goes without saying that the world building was phenomenal in this book. I loved how there was still so much more that we were able to explore in this book as compared to the previous book, and how there is still room to explore other aspects of the world, obviously, because there's like a Mistborn era too. The ending was satisfying, and it made me really emotional. So I was actually in a video call with Bree and Casey from Books Before Death as I finished this book, and it was a journey. I wish I had taken screenshots. Maybe they have, I don't know. But I was going through the whole journey. Like, I think it was Bree who pointed out that at some point my eyebrows like showed like 12 emotions in a span of 5 seconds, and I thought that was pretty funny because okay, the Sanderson in this book was just top tier. Like, I don't even know, I don't even have the words to describe how awesome it is, but even just the entirety of the book felt, for me at least, felt like a Sanderson. Like, there was so much going on. I did look at my notes, and I apparently, according to me from the past, the middle part of the book was a little slower. Like, there were less action scenes that were going on, but I really didn't mind them because I don't even know how to properly review this book because it was just so good. For a lot of people, this is their favorite series. I'm not sure yet that it is for me. It is a favorite. I'm just not sure if it's the favorite, you know? But in terms of the ending, like, I read a few series, and this might have to be the most impactful series ending that I've ever read. And that says a lot, because when I finished the book, like, I think it's only been, what, 4 days? And I still feel like the impact of those last chapters and that epilogue. In order for this to be a somewhat better review and just not just me raving about this book, I did look through some other reviews and opinions about this book that were not perfectly positive. One complaint that I've seen a lot is how while we do explore the main POVs, like those characters, pretty well, some of the characters are just kind of in the back burner and you don't really get to see them much. Like, I'm not gonna say who, but like really the rest of the cast, even though they do have their moments where they're put in the spotlight, I do agree that they could have been developed more. But here's the thing, they could have been developed more, but would that actually help advance the plot is the question for me. So I still, for me, that's a nitpick if I would say that, but I guess I can understand other people who do think that some of the characters were a little bit neglected in this book. Another one that I think is also a nitpick, if I said it like for my review, but I've seen this and people have been saying that like the previous two books, it's a little bit tropey, so the things that happen don't necessarily surprise you. Okay, it's the kind of plot twist that while you don't necessarily foresee coming, when it does come, you're like, oh my gosh, that makes sense. Why did I not see that coming, you know? And I don't know, for me, that just made everything all the more satisfying. Even though there were some really painful and emotional parts, like still, those parts were just so satisfying, but it doesn't make it any less painful, but it's just really hard to talk about this. Obviously, go read it. I gave it 5 stars. So yeah, that'll be my review for The Hero of Ages, the third book in the Mistborn trilogy. I hope you kind of got something out of this. I do try to be balanced in my reviews. I mean, occasionally there's a little bit of a rave or a little bit of a rant, but I still try my best to present the positive and the negative. It's just that this book, even though I do understand the negative reviews that people have for this book, it's just so good, you guys. Like, just join the Crosby Crab-Along Discord. It'll be linked down below, and we can chat there. It's just the love that I have for this book. I think it might be my favorite read of 2021 so far, and that's saying a lot. Actually, it's not really saying a lot because I've read a lot of disappointing books so far. Still, I think this has been by far the most impactful book that I've read in 2021. Okay, I've already wasted too much of your time, so thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and please forget to subscribe so that you can do it later, and have a great day.